Picture this, the year is 9 AD. The air is so sharp it cuts through your tunic, a biting wind whips snow into your eyes, and the ground beneath your hobnailed boots is a treacherous sheet of ice. This isn't the sun-drenched Mediterranean Rome you know. This is Germania, a land of dense, foreboding forests and brutal, unforgiving winters. For the Roman legionaries tasked with holding the frontier, winter wasn't just a season, it was an enemy as formidable as any barbarian tribe. How did these soldiers, accustomed to warmer climes, survive month after relentless month in such an alien and hostile environment? Their story is one of incredible resilience, ingenious adaptation, and constant struggle against nature's raw power. The perception of Roman soldiers often conjures images of gladiators or men in gleaming armor under a Tuscan sun. However, the reality on the northern frontiers was starkly different. Roman military campaigns frequently extended into late autumn, and the garrisons maintained year-round presence. This meant legions were often caught unprepared by sudden, early blizzards or faced the slow, creeping onset of a long winter. The logistical challenges were immense, from keeping supply lines open through frozen rivers and snow-choked passes to simply finding enough food and fuel for thousands of men and their animals. The success, or failure, of Rome's expansion into Germania often hinged on their ability to withstand the frigid grip of winter. One of the most immediate challenges was clothing. The standard Roman military attire, while effective for temperate climates, was utterly insufficient for Germanic winters. Legionaries quickly learned to adapt. They layered wool tunics, sometimes 2 or 3 thick, often supplementing them with leather jerkins and animal furs, acquired through trade or hunting. Woolen cloaks, like the paenula or sagum, became essential, offering crucial protection against wind and snow. For their feet, multiple layers of wool socks were worn inside their caligae military sandals, which were often modified or replaced with closed boots lined with fur or felt. This adaptation was critical, as frostbite could incapacitate a soldier as effectively as an enemy spear. Shelter was paramount. While marching, temporary camps would consist of leather tents, often reinforced with extra hides and dugout trenches to protect against wind. But for winter quarters, more robust structures were needed. Forts and fortlets, often built from wood and earth, would be meticulously prepared. Barracks rooms, typically housing 8 to 10 men, would have small hearths for warmth, though smoke management was a constant issue. Windows, if present, were small and might be covered with animal bladders or oiled cloth to keep out drafts. The goal was simple: create enclosed spaces that could retain heat, however minimally, and offer some respite from the perpetual cold. Beyond their own comfort, keeping the camp and its strategic features operational was a monumental task. Snow removal was a daily, arduous chore. Roads leading to and from the fort had to be cleared to maintain supply lines and allow for patrols. Ditches and palisades, vital for defense, would become buried under snowdrifts, requiring constant maintenance. Sentries, exposed to the elements, rotated frequently, their shifts shortened to prevent hypothermia. Every man, regardless of rank, was involved in these essential, labor-intensive activities, understanding that the integrity of their defenses directly correlated to their chances of survival. Food and fuel were the lifeblood of any Roman winter camp. Grain, dried meat, and legumes would be stockpiled in vast quantities before winter set in, but even then, rations could run low. Hunting and foraging became dangerous but necessary activities, often sending small detachments into the perilous, snow-covered forests. Wood for fires was perhaps the most critical resource. Entire detachments would be assigned to felling trees, chopping wood, and transporting it back to the fort, a backbreaking task in freezing conditions. The energy expenditure for these activities was enormous, making calorically rich food all the more essential for maintaining strength and body heat. Maintaining morale during the long, dark, and isolating winters was a psychological battle. Cut off from the larger Roman world, enduring relentless cold and monotonous routines, soldiers faced boredom, loneliness, and the ever-present threat of attack. Centurions and officers played a crucial role in keeping spirits up, organizing games, storytelling sessions, and even small-scale wrestling or training exercises within the confines of the fort. These activities, however simple, provided a much-needed distraction and fostered camaraderie, reminding the men they were part of a cohesive unit, a family far from home, battling not just barbarians but also the gnawing despair of winter. Medical challenges were severe. Frostbite, hypothermia, and respiratory illnesses like pneumonia were rampant. Lack of fresh food often led to scurvy, weakening the soldiers and making them more susceptible to other diseases. Roman military doctors, or medici, were highly skilled, but their resources were limited, especially on the frontier. They relied on herbal remedies, basic surgical procedures, and preventative measures like encouraging personal hygiene, even in freezing conditions. Despite their best efforts, winter claimed many lives, silently thinning the ranks of the legions even without a single enemy skirmish. The presence of local Germanic tribes added another layer of complexity. While major campaigns often ceased in winter due to impassable terrain and scarce resources, skirmishes and raids were not uncommon. Germanic warriors, intimately familiar with their frozen homeland, sometimes used the harsh conditions to their advantage, conducting surprise attacks on isolated patrols or supply convoys. Roman outposts and watchtowers had to be perpetually manned, requiring exceptional vigilance from soldiers enduring freezing temperatures, knowing that any lapse in attention could result in a swift and brutal end. Despite the hardships, Roman discipline and engineering prowess shone through. They built heated bathhouses, albeit often rudimentary ones, within their larger winter camps, providing soldiers with a crucial opportunity to clean themselves and warm their bodies. Sophisticated drainage systems prevented melting snow from turning camps into muddy quagmires. The very construction of their forts, designed for defense and efficient use of space, demonstrated a mastery of logistics and adaptation to local conditions, allowing them to endure where lesser armies would have perished. Animals, particularly horses and pack mules, were indispensable for patrols, transport, and communication. Keeping them alive and healthy through winter was another enormous logistical hurdle. Stables needed to be built, often with insulated walls, and fodder had to be procured in massive quantities. Their water troughs would freeze, requiring constant attention. The loss of a single animal could cripple a unit's mobility or supply capacity, making their care a priority almost equal to that of the soldiers themselves. The bond between a Roman cavalryman and his mount, forged in these harsh conditions, was critical for survival. As winter finally gave way to spring, the change wasn't always immediate relief. Thawing snow brought mud, floods, and new challenges for travel. But it also brought renewed hope and the promise of fresh supplies and potential campaigning. The surviving legionaries emerged hardened, more resilient, and with an even deeper respect for the unforgiving landscape they policed. Their ability to not only endure but effectively maintain their presence on this frozen frontier speaks volumes about the Roman military's adaptability and the sheer grit of its individual soldiers. The story of Roman soldiers surviving winter in Germania is more than just a footnote in military history, it's a testament to human endurance, ingenious problem-solving, and unwavering discipline in the face of extreme adversity. It reshapes our understanding of the Roman Empire, revealing a force capable of thriving not just in battle, but against the most elemental challenges nature could throw at them. Next time you think of Rome, remember the legionaries battling not just barbarians, but the relentless, frozen grip of winter itself. Their legacy lives on, a chilling reminder of the sacrifices made to forge an empire. Thank you for watching.